Alright, good morning everyone. I am Sweetrach Y. Mandaras and I am from Baal Alap 12. And right now I will be discussing about Emile Durkheim. Before we will be going to discuss about the topic, let's dig in deeper first to Emile Durkheim's life. So yeah, basically Emile Durkheim is it's still not his full name. He still have David from his first name, and David Emile Durkheim. So he was born in 1858 in Lorraine, France. Was a renowned sociologist who broke with tradition by studying philosophy at the École Normale Supérieure. He taught sociology at the University of Bordeaux and established the prestigious Année Sociologique. Durkheim was promoted to chair of the science of education at the Sorbonne in 1902 and later became a full professor in 1906. He published several important essays and contributed to the field of sociology. Durkheim was politically engaged. He was not just a teacher, but he is also a politically engaged, defending Alfred Dreyfus and founding member of the Human Rights League. He was critical of Karl Marx's work in Marxism, but supported socialist reforms. Durkheim was also a patriot of France and he used his sociology to help a struggling French society during World War One. Wow, World War One is a really long time ago. Alright. So the next one is the intellectual development and influences. So Durkheim's study or philosophy it is just not based from his own understanding of the world or theories. He was influenced and inspired by these great sociologists also that we all know. It is Auguste Comte and Herbert Spencer. Both of them were aimed to make a sociology about science. And that's what also interested Durkheim because his study does not only focus on about the world, but there is also related to science. He incorporated Comte's positivism and scientific approach, but critiqued their unilinear models. So yeah, as from what we have read, was influenced by not just only by those great sociologists that we all know, but he also was influenced by these teachers. And that made him create the theory that we are having to discuss right now. Thanks to these great people who influenced Durkheim's mind. Alright, next one is a sociological method, society and the study of social facts. So Durkheim views societal elements including morality and religion as natural and can be studied scientifically. So what is stated, it was studied scientifically. It was not just based on natural, but there is also an evidence of it from the scientific side. That's what is unique and different to Emile Durkheim from the different also sociologists that we have tackled before. Sociology, his science of institutions, is based on the sociological method, as from the word sociology, so it's based from sociological method. Social fact, it was also the one unique term that Emile Durkheim invented. It was defined a category of facts which present very special characteristics. They consist of manners of acting, thinking, and feeling external to the individual, which are invested with a coercive power by virtue of which they exercise control over him. Examples of these social facts are marriage, currency that we have right now, like the Philippine peso. So that's what is fact or true about our society. The rules also or the laws made by our government. It's also one example of social fact. So for Durkheim, a society is not merely a group of individuals living in one particular geographical location. Rather, a society is an ensemble of ideas, beliefs, and sentiments of all sorts that are realized through individuals. It's just not like this, like from the barangay that we are in right now. This is not just called as barangay because there are a lot of people living in it, but it is because there is an ideas, a uniqueness, a beliefs from each of people living in that different or certain area. So that's what makes a society. Next one is a Durkheim's social realism. The idea that society is an objectively real entity that exists independently and autonomously of any particular individual, a view that is epitomized by his prescription to treat social facts as things, is what also emphasized in Emile Durkheim's study, which is to treat the social facts as things. Durkheim's statement emphasizes that social facts influence individuals both externally and internally. So, examples of social facts that are externally or external is the laws that we need to follow from our government despite of our own beliefs, even though that we think that it is wrong or we don't like to follow that one, but we still need to because we are under this civilization. So we are obligated to follow that one. So that's also, or like the marriage, we need to follow certain steps first for us to get married. So that's what external social facts are. Meanwhile, or however, in interior social facts, these examples of these are the family that we have in right now. Even though that we are in a certain group, but we are encouraged to voice out our own opinion because we feel free if we are in our family. We can be influenced by our family members' way of thinking, and we can also influence them. So it's just, a give and take of an idea, and that's what interior means. It's not like following certain or like really you're obligated to follow a certain rule, but in family, yeah, you need to be respectful to your parents or that, but still you have the freedom to do it or not. You have the freedom to be a good daughter, to be a good son, or a bad daughter or a bad son. Yeah. So that's what interior is. Next is Durkheim's social realism posits that social facts are ideational without a material substratum and can only be observed through systematized phenomenal reality. This approach aims to bridge philosophical schools like realism and nominalism or empiricism and idealism. Next one is Durkheim's sociology of knowledge. Durkheim's sociology of knowledge asserts that society influences all aspects of an individual's thought and conception of the world, including common beliefs, language, and logical concepts like time, space, causality, and number. Yeah, as we are like here, as a member of a society, but the language that we speak from all of the neighbors that we have, it's all different. Like here in, for example, here in Cebu, we speak Bisaya because we're in Cebu. So we're all influenced to speak Bisaya, even though that you are from Manila and you speak Tagalog, or you are from America or you speak English. You are influenced to speak Bisaya because you are in the Cebu. That's what all of the people mainly use us. So you are encouraged to learn the language and you get influenced by it. As well as the beliefs. If you are in a certain area where they believe, what can we think of an example? Oh yeah, just a simple one that they believe aswang because there are also barangays here or in our province. We really do believe aswang there. Many people told us that it is true because they see it, they saw it. From those informations that we heard, we are influenced to believe that thing, even though that we don't have any knowledge about it or we don't believe about it, but we are influenced to believe it because that's what mainly the society believes too. But it's also your choice if you will gonna believe it or not. But you just get to influence as time passes because it keeps repeating that there is really an aswang there. But yeah, it still matters though if you will really believe it. Yeah, but that's just basically what is Durkheim's sociology of knowledge. All right, under the sociology of knowledge from Emile Durkheim's, it is the representative collective. The world exists only as far as it is represented, and that all knowledge of the world necessarily refers back to how it is represented. Representations collectives are the body of representations a society uses to represent to itself things in reality as those things relate to and affect society. Examples of this are our Philippine national flag. It is what represents us. It is what represents us to being a Filipino, as well as in another country. Their flags are also what represents them as who they are. Suppositories and transmitters of collective experience and thereby embody and express the reality of a society's collective existence. Representations collective can take many forms, including group symbols, language, and conceptual thought. Next is Durkheim's philosophy of language. The realm through which the idea of truth is able to come into being, since through language, individuals are able to conceive of a world of stable ideas that are common to different intelligences. Language is, therefore, obviously a sui generis, so this means a unique product of social interaction. It is the product of the fusion of individual consciences, with the result being completely new, irreducible to the parts that make it up, and with the result residing in the minds of individuals as a product of collective action. And emphasized in here, it was a unique product of social interaction. So it still gives us the differences or the uniqueness if we speak different language from the others. But if many people, like the same people, speak the same language also, that leads to unity. So that's also why, and that's also um one kind to represent a person or a place or a society. The next one is the categories. Society also plays a large role in creating the categories of thought, such as time, space, number, causality, personality, and so forth. So we have also categories to categorize the people in a society. Next one is the classification of knowledge. It attaches things one to another and to establish relations between them. Yeah, so this means that even though that there is a classification of things inside a society, it's still it means that there is still connection that will bind all of those things. Next one is cultural relativism versus scientific truth. Scientific truth deals with the same subject matter as mythological truths: nature, man, society. Unlike other representations collectives, they serve to reinforce and unify the collective conscience around the idea. So this means that from the cultural traditions that we have and the scientific truth, there is also a relationship between them that represents a society. Next one is Durkheim's philosophy of religion. A religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things, that is to say, things set apart and forbidden beliefs, and practices which unite in one single moral community called a church, all those who adhere to them. According to Durkheim, religion comes into being and is legitimated through moments of what he calls collective effervescence. So once a certain group of people gather around, share some, Bible verses, their testimonies in life about God, like how God is really good to their life, and that moment where they are in sharing, that is called a collective effervescence because they create moments. And if collective effervescence, as what I said a while ago, it refers to moments in societal life when the group of individuals that makes up society comes together in order to perform a religious ritual. Just like when we are in a certain religion, we know youth, right? I know some of us are part or a member of a youth organization in their church. And that group, that's an example of collective effervescence because they do religious rituals, religious activities, and they make memories. Alright, so next one is Durkheim's morality. Alright, I am really sorry for the change of angle, but I just experienced a technical issue and it doesn't let me anymore to have this one as horizontally. So anyways, let's just continue. I hope that it does not distract you though. Alright, so Durkheim's morality. Durkheim's morality is a system of rules and maxims that prescribes to individuals ways of behaving in different situations. Contained within this moral system is a set of moral values, beliefs, and truths that provide a framework for the rules. Morality is also a wholly social phenomenon, with morality not existing outside of the limits of society. So that's what morality is for Emile Durkheim. And there's also two bases from Emile Durkheim's philosophy or theory. Morality from him is that it was based on obligatory in nature, and second one is desirability in morality. Obligatory morality means that you are obligated to follow a certain law or rule. As for his word, it is a law that you need to follow in nature. For example, the law of the government again. And the other one is the desirability of morality. So this one means that if the person does something good and he was happy about that, that leads him to feel like he is in high power or something. And at the end of that, it results to something good. Another thing is that moral authority is thus born out of religious life and draws its authority from the power of religion, which, as seen in the section above, is merely society's collective force transfigured and made visible. Religious imagery therefore takes on a moral tone and can be an important physical source of moral authority in a society. The next one is the social change and modernity in the West. First one is the causes of social change. The two main factors affecting social interaction are increases in population density and advances in technology, most notably in the fields of communication and transportation. As we all know, our world right now is developing. Many technologies are invented and many people are using it already. So in that change, if there are many technologies or there are many advanced technologies now in this world, that leads to people getting isolated themselves and it will really affect the society. And but based from what Emile Durkheim's philosophy, it is really important for everybody to unite. And if that technology will gonna be improving and keep advancing, that will lead to some social isolation and unity will be gone as time passes by. Alright, next one is the division of labor and the emergence of modernity in Europe. With the division of labor, there was a specialization of tasks which gave the individual more freedom to develop their work. As a result, individual autonomy increased since the rest of society was less and less capable of testing the individual how to do the work. So since there is a division of labor, each people have defined which or kind of work or career they wanted to get for themselves. So that will cause us a division also. Durkheim's description of the modern industrial state highlights the significant shift in European society due to population concentration and production centralization, altering social relationships and causing a weakening of previous traditions, particularly in the realm of production. Next is the death of God. As a symptom of a sickened society, one that has lost its internal structure and descended into an anarchy, or a society with no authority and no definitive principles, moral or otherwise, to build itself on. If a society does not have any unity anymore and there's no moral and they does not follow any laws anymore, like they're just seem to be living there without the essence of living in this world. There's really something that we need to follow. There are processes in this world that makes us a living human. But if those things were gone, like we can we can ask, like, why are we still living in this world? Yeah, so that's leads to the death of God, and that's what Emile Durkheim means to the death of God. Next is the cult of the individual, Durkheim and politics. Durkheim argued that religion is a part of human life, and as humans form collectively, a new religion emerges. This new religion, called the cult of the individual, focuses on the sacred object of the individual in a diverse and individual society. He said that if a group of people will emerge and unite, it will lead to a development of a religion. It basically means if there is a group of people who was emerged or united, and they will gonna be developing a new religion, and that is really new, certain and new for everyone. Which, but yeah, does not mean it's still not existed. So that will going to be leading to the cult of the individual, individual and society. Durkheim's sociological approach views the self as a complex web of social and historical relations that significantly influence actions, interpretations, and logical thinking. Social forces can be assimilated into an unconscious substructure of the mind, making it crucial for individuals to understand their society and its impact on their existence. So that the self is a complex web of social and historical relations that significantly influence actions, interpretations, and logical thinking. So he defined that self as something that is influensive to one another, that can influence someone, and someone can also influence the self. And there is also social forces which a person question their existence in this world. They are like social forces like the language, the dress code, the education that they are currently enrolling in, that will make a person question their existence in this world, and that will lead him to find answers on the importance or the practicality of his living body.